Hey there to all my friends in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. You guys are hopefully taking a look at our video here. We have amazing information to share with you guys about those of you that are interested in moving into our beautiful Las Vegas, but you guys are in another state. So we are excited to share with you guys different tools, different resources, tips about what you guys could do. So let me make sure, I want to make sure my team gives me a thumbs up that we are completely live. Give me one quick second here. How are you? Let's see here. Hello, hello. Let me see. And if you guys are hearing me and everything is completely good to go audio, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up. I'm looking for making sure everything, okay, there we go. So we're all set. Let me move this right here, you guys, because it's gonna bug me the whole show, the whole time that we're doing the video. It's gonna just, those things happen. And okay, so again, my friends, today we want to cover with you guys, if you live outside of Las Vegas, outside of the state of Nevada, how can you come in and purchase? And we're going to start off by really touching on how you can purchase with the least money down. And by the least money down, I'm talking about 3.5% down. So basically, if we're referring to a home that's 400,000, 3.5% down, basically we're looking at equivalent of $14,000. So you're coming in as a primary resident, and you're getting the incentives of, the better interest rates and the least down payment. So today we're going to cover all those details for you. So please stick around. And then at the end, we're going to be talking about why, right? Why, even though we're hearing a lot of things about the economy, about real estate, about prices, why Vegas? And I want to share a lot of the information of why Las Vegas continues to be a very interesting city for you to obviously purchase in, invest in. And so all of those details, I'm going to cover them at the end. So please stick around for it all. So again, I want to take you through the process of explaining to you what tools and what programs you have available if you do not live here in the state of Nevada, specifically in Las Vegas. So I want to start really briefly by saying that there's two different categories that are used very common when we're speaking about home buyers. One of them is first-time home buyer, and the other is primary residence. So first-time home buyer, what that means is that you are eligible for down payment assistance programs, government programs. You're eligible for money that's out there for you. And what that means is that if you are wanting to apply for support for you to give your closing cost, your down payment, and really come in with the least amount of cash out of pocket. So this first-time home buyer designation is amazing. And what I can tell you is that for the majority of the programs, as long as you do not have a home currently under your name, you would be eligible, right? But for example, here in Nevada, majority of the programs, they require for you to be living here and working here in order for you to qualify for these first-time home buyer programs, right? Also very important that first-time home buyer programs usually come with the list of requirements and things that you have to follow even after you become the homeowner. Excuse me, for example, you have to live in the home minimum 3 years or 5 years. In this way, the money that they allotted for you will be forgivable, so you won't have to pay it back, right? So down payment assistance programs, they can vary from, giving you 10, 5, 12, 15, $30,000, to giving you a couple $1,000s. And it all boils down to what is it that you qualify for? What programs fit into your, into the things that you have, like the income you make. Are you, for example, here in Las Vegas, culinary member? Then you have access to that specific program. Our VAs, our veterans, you have 0% down, and that doesn't even have to be associated with anything to do with down payment assistance programs. You're eligible if you've been in the military a certain amount of time. So lots of programs in the arena of first-time home buyer. Okay, and again, Many of the programs will allow you to go after the program and get those benefits if you basically do not own a home currently. So it's awesome, right? It's awesome because many of you have asked me, Nora, I bought a house, sold a house 10 years ago, and I've been renting all these years. Would I be eligible? The response is yes, you'd be eligible because you don't have a residence under your name right now, and you would be eligible for all the first-time home buyer perks. So that's number one, right? But now we want to talk about what is called a primary residence, what this classification can get you. So as a primary resident, it's different. As a primary resident, this is what the bank puts you in as, and saying, okay, you, the person that's buying, your intention is to live in this property as a primary residence. So therefore, the banks will give you certain type of down payment. They'll give you certain type of interest rate because you're buying this home, purchasing it with the intention of a primary residence. And so many of you guys that are out of state can actually purchase a primary residence in Las Vegas if you basically fall under certain category. So for example, category number one is if your employer is giving you a transfer, you have a transfer letter, your company is just moving you to Vegas, you can actually begin to buy a home in Vegas without being here in Vegas, months before you get to Vegas, because you have a transfer letter from your employer saying Vegas is going to be your residency, right? This is where you're going to be able to work from. So this transfer letter, obviously, if you're able to get it, amazing. The other way that you can actually purchase this primary residence with, again, low down payment, 3.5%, basically would be if you, for example, let's use our friends from California, and I use California so often because California is, we get so many people from California moving into Vegas. So to me, it's like the perfect example to use all the time. So let's just say California. You're working in California, you are a police officer, right? A police officer, and I use this because we have an example like this. You're a police officer in California, and your wife moved to Las Vegas because there's family, because whatever the case is, your wife is in Las Vegas, your wife is not working, and guess what? Now you are married and you're able to say, okay, I don't live there, but my wife does, and therefore I need to purchase a property for her to occupy. And that it all is submitted into, the bank, and the bank can actually approve a primary residence loan, right? So basically, again, giving you all the incentives as a primary residence. So this is used quite often, right? Why? Because one of the family members usually transitions first. The spouse usually may transition first. And so as long as that spouse has an ID from here, has an address from here, and really can prove that they're here now, just with, the bills and things like that, then that usually is the requirements that the bank will have for this loan to be considered a primary residence. Okay, so let's just say that you're from another state and you don't have this primary residence option, and you definitely cannot be considered a primary resident. But I do want to pause real quick before I move on into the other options that you all have if you live outside of the state and you want to purchase here in Vegas. I want to pause because this is kind of, very important and very different. So if you are a truck driver, okay, this is the only basically position that if you're a truck driver, you can select to live anywhere in the U.S. It's kind of a rule that the banks have, which is great for truck drivers because it allows you to really choose your primary residence anywhere you want. So you could be a truck driver and you're mainly working out of maybe California, Oregon, but you can, because you are a truck driver, you can select to purchase your home in Las Vegas, your primary residence in Las Vegas, and again, fall under the category of low down payment and the best interest rates, right? And I say the best interest rates because you guys have all been hearing rates have gone up. So I can't say the low interest rates because many of you no longer consider them low rates, right? But you will, as a primary resident, you will be able to have the best interest rate in the market, right? That's really the perk of having that designation when you're getting a loan from the mortgage, from the bank. So again, here we are with the comment of you, all of you that are truck drivers, you have this kind of exception, right? You have this exception to all the rules, and it's quite good. And we've talked to many folks that's exactly how they started purchasing, and that's how they got their home here in Vegas. And whether they come and move here full time, or that is completely a different topic, right? But they're able to use this benefit, this perk, for sure. So I wanted to make sure to cover this before I move on into the category of second home. So what does that mean? Let's say you don't have the primary residence option, you don't have the first-time home buyer option because you're living in another state and you really don't have a spouse that's moving over here. Then you would have the next option where you could ultimately be a co-signer for someone that does live in the city. So for example, maybe your sister, maybe your nephew, maybe your niece, they don't own a home in Vegas, and you can come in as a co-borrower with them. They are coming in with the designation of living in the home. And so therefore you guys are eligible to get, again, the best interest rate, the best down payment that there is in the market. You're coming in as a co-signer, but they're keeping the status of primary resident, even though you're not here in Vegas. And they're keeping it, again, because there's someone here in Vegas that's going to be on the loan. So that's also a big tool, and it's utilized, again, quite often. We see this even with like family that has, the kid maybe moved out, moved to a different city to work or go to college. Then, a parent or somebody comes in with a loan as a cosigner, and now they're able to buy, a small condo, a small townhouse, small multi-family, where they're studying, where they're going to college, and now there's kind of that benefit, right, for everybody. So this option is great. Then from here, I can tell you we move on to the second. It's the category called your second home, right? So you're not living here, you're living in Colorado, and you say, okay, great, I want a second home in Las Vegas. You're able to provide all of the documentation and show income that can support your lifestyle, or if you have a mortgage in Colorado, and then you're coming into Vegas to buy a second home, and you can you can definitely sustain that. They're going to ask you for 10% down, the bank, and that's it. You're going to also get kind of the advantages of great rate, right? And so that second home category tends to be kind of the second option, right? If you're not able to come in as a primary resident. So second home, 10% down, which is awesome. So in a $400,000 house, you're at $40,000. For many of you that are, you guys maybe pulled some money out of your home and really want to get into real estate as an investment opportunity, you guys have probably 40,000 is, not as big of a lump sum, right? So homes right now, I can give you an idea here in Vegas where we're seeing definitely the market shift a little bit to become a buyer's market, meaning we have sellers giving you closing costs, we have sellers doing extra things in repairs, which is awesome. So it is a great environment, definitely for those of you that want to kind of invest and have a home here in the Valley. So basically where we're at with that is second home, right, is the next designation. Then from there, we move straight to being an investor. So if we can't get you, or you don't have that possibility, the second home, which is, another important part of the second home, is they ask you to minimum live there 6 months out of the year. And so many of you don't want that, right? So then you go full on investment, which a lot of you are doing, especially our friends from California. Many of you guys are coming here with a 20% down, no problem. So if you're going to be buying a home 20% down, a home, residential home, it's going to be 20% down. If you want a multifamily, it's going to be 25% down. And again, we're seeing a lot of you folks from other states where, you guys cashed out really well when the market was high, want to come in and buy multifamily. And that's why I make the mention of multifamily, because we're seeing that the returns, you guys are absolutely happy and excited with the returns. So pretty much that's, for many of you, that's really the best and the last option, right? You're coming in with 20% down. You have very little rules. You have very little restrictions. You don't really have to prove a whole lot. You do have to have, depends on your financials, you have to have enough income to cover that. But if you're coming in with a solid 20% down, usually what we will see all the time is that the rent will cover without a doubt that mortgage payment. So it really helps for the qualification and the numbers. On fourplexes, if you're coming in with 25% down, you're absolutely going to be seeing a return on that money, and we're still seeing it, 8 to 10% without a doubt. So as an investor, you always have to look at the numbers, and really numbers are what drives you to take action, not necessarily the emotions, right? And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to touch base with you guys today, because we're seeing so many of you out of state buyers and investors come into Vegas, and you guys are just excited for what you guys are seeing in the Valley. So I wanted to make sure to show you a little bit about the programs, the loans that you can actually get, and also really show you guys what you guys can pull up as reports, right? So let me show you real quick here. Let's see here. I want to show you I think a valuable place for you guys to look at kind of what's our trend here in Las Vegas. You guys know we are a tourism city, but I hope that you guys also have seen the growth that we've had in other sectors, not just tourism, hospitality, and gambling. We've had we now have now we're a city where we talk about sports, right? We didn't have that, so now we have the Raiders, right? And the city has welcomed them with open arms, and it's actually I think it's a great incentive for many folks, because not only are you coming maybe to Campbell for shows, for the great food, we have great food in Vegas for sure, you're now coming for sports as well. And so we have this beautiful new stadium with the Raiders, and this stadium now brings also the opportunity of entertainment to a different level, right? Just amazing concerts are just happening all the time in this beautiful Allegiant Stadium. And so that's bringing, a different level of tourism to Vegas. And you guys can see these numbers. This is the last report released by LVCVA, which is the organization here in Las Vegas that keeps track of everything, right? That has to do with tourism. And so the latest September's still not out. That's why I'm showing you August. But you could pretty much see September's report and really take a look here that the visitors volume is right here at 3 mil, and it was up, right, 6% from the previous year, up from 2019, which of course through the pandemic is normal. And you guys can see we are a city with a lot of conventions, and so the convention traffic, which really August is probably a low season for us in conventions, because you guys know here in Vegas it's a little hot still, but we have the activity, right? So room inventory. So this is really a lot of the conversation that the hotels are having, right? Like what's going on, and then you're able to dissect it month after month in comparison to the previous. So to me, again, this is just information showing you that we as a city, even though, people are talking about there's a recession approaching, there is problems, the economy, here in Vegas, we continue to see a growth, and we continue to see people, wanting to come to the city, spend time, spend their money, because now, like I said, we're not just a hospitality, we're not just a casino city. We have sports. And we also, for many of you that are, people that are outdoorsy, right? You don't never think of Vegas and think, oh yeah, let's go hiking or let's go out and check out, nature. But we are actually, pretty centered. We're kind of this hub to a lot of cool places, and I'll make a mention of those just quickly, right? We have the Grand Canyon, which you have to really fly into Vegas. You would have to fly into Phoenix to really go there. So we're pretty much very similar in distance. So you have Grand Canyon, which is obviously a beautiful national park, but not only that, it is really magnificent, right? In many ways, we have Sedona, amazing. We have Zion National Park, but also for many of our California folks, we're just such a close distance away from being able to be at the beach in 4 hours, being able to be in a beautiful national park in 4 hours, right? We have 4 or 5 hours, right? We have Yosemite. We have, just California is just so rich with nature, and we are very close to it. So that's one of the reasons why Vegas has become really this place where there is a different feel to it, not just casinos, gambling, and that's why we're seeing growth. We feel very confident what our city has to offer. And many of you guys should know that obviously we have a lot of land. Yes, we're surrounded by government land, but we know that it's only a matter of time. If the demand is there, that we will see that slowly be released, so that we can continue expanding and growing when it comes to housing, right? We have a lot of beautiful projects in the south side of Vegas, and a lot of beautiful projects in the north side of Vegas, where we're bringing in big companies. To just bring more jobs. So the idea here is to really show you and let you know that our activity here for the city of Las Vegas continues to be, it's thriving, it's growing year after year. Hi, what website are you using it to get that data, that information? Beautiful question, BTG. You can go, let me share it really quickly. I'll be back there. So it's, you can go and I'll recommend it. It's LVCVA, but if you just plug in LVCVA, or if you say the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, if you go to their website, that's where you're going to get all the information, right? And so this is where I plugged in all this data, and I didn't want to bore you guys with all of the projects here in Vegas, but we are seeing growth. Resort World came in, and it's a new casino in Vegas. We have plans for more of that in the Strip. I mean, we are just growing, a city that's constantly looking to grow and bring in interest, right? We're talking basketball team, right? And so you guys know we have hockey. I didn't even mention that. A big shout out to the Knights here in Vegas, right? So we have a hockey team in the desert. And so it's bringing a different feel to our city, definitely a feel that we did not have years ago. And that, lots of wonderful cities had, right? Phoenix, sports city. And so now in Vegas, we kind of have it all in the sense of great food, great entertainment. You have obviously the gambling that you can do, but there's just so much more outside of just the Strip that's available to people. And I think that will continue to make us a city where investors see the potential for rentals. And so we are seeing in this moment that, I mean, even if we see the report from last year, 30% of all purchases in the valley were from investors, because they're looking for rentals. They're looking for rentals because the rental market has spiked so much in the recent years, and obviously they're looking for the money. They're looking for that return, right, on their investment, and Vegas continues to be a great city for that. So for me, many of you that are maybe small investors, or maybe those of you that don't even own a home just yet, and Vegas becomes a great option because it's affordable. And so that's kind of what I wanted to share out there, is that we have a lot of, actually just moved to Las Vegas and I don't know to get into real estate investment. Okay, and I don't know to get into real estate investment, and your information is helping me out so much. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know. I definitely, we're starting. I have a lot of content and a lot of videos out there right now in Spanish, right? Because all of these years, I've really thought that we need a lot of resources and a lot of information for our Spanish speaking community. But then, I started realizing, I was like, well, let me just share a lot of the same information that I'm sharing in Spanish. Let me share it in English. And I appreciate you telling me that it is, that it is benefiting you, because now that gives me a huge, it really makes me happy that it's benefiting folks, so that we can continue doing it, right? And again, going right now, right after our show, we're going to go ahead, right after this show, we're going to go in and do a complete the same series in Spanish, right? And I want to be able to do it all the time in both languages, because I feel that I've been doing this for 17 years, and I do love my city a lot. And I can tell you this: I've looked all over the United States. I love to travel, first of all, and so I love a lot of the cities. Every city has like this unique touch. There's the food. There's the people. And I've looked. I think in the last, probably about 10 years ago, we really considered it as a family. Like, oh my gosh, we're going to move out of Vegas. And now I'm going on a tangent in a complete different direction, but I just want to kind of share a little bit about my story. So about 10, 12 years ago, we're like, this is an opportunity. Let's move out of Vegas. Let's go into another city. And we were out there kind of, specking a lot of cities out. And we realized, I mean, I've been here in Vegas for 30 years plus. Realized, gosh, there's so many cities that are beautiful. But the things that we have here in Vegas, there's, we're to get used to, some of these cities, things close up at 6, 8 o'clock weekdays, and there's nothing, right? Here in Vegas, we're used to having everything up and running all the time. And it's true, we're a 24/7 city. We're small enough, but we're big enough, right? We're small enough, but we're big enough to have just amazing restaurants, amazing shows, amazing entertainment, where some of this entertainment is, New York City, LA. I mean, these are big cities, right? And at the end of the day, I'm not that big city girl, and my family's not either, right? So we like nature, we like all that stuff, and we have all that here in Vegas as well, right? It's in close proximity, right? We have Mount Charleston. It's not, it's not the Rockies, right, by any means, but it's a beautiful, place where you can go and see snow in the winter, and it's only 45 minutes away, an hour away, right? If you want a lake, it's definitely not Lake Tahoe, but you have Lake Mead, right? You can go in and on a boat and just enjoy that, right? And then we have Red Rock, right? Everything. I just tell folks, if you go in any direction for an hour, you're gonna get to see something beautiful, natural, for us, Red Rock as well, something that you won't see for example, in the East Coast, right? And so truly a beautiful city, right? And the more I live here and the more I travel, the more I realize just how really blessed we are in Vegas. And again, there is a lot of opportunities. So I'm reading here, do you have any advice in the area and look at for investment for multifamilies? Yeah, absolutely. Multifamilies are our favorite. And here in Vegas, multifamilies are really good. So I would love to talk to you personally. You can definitely call me, ask my team to speak directly to me about this part. But yeah, the multifamily sector right now, we were looking at fourplexes being around 600,000. That was kind of like the norm in the last year and a half. 600,000. They can go even higher. And investors were still saying, okay, yeah, let's move forward. Right now we're seeing a little bit of a break here. We're seeing that they're closer to 500. So the numbers get even better, right? And so if you're able to if you're coming in with the 25% down, amazing. If you don't own a home, if you don't have a property right now, then you can even go, FHA, coming in with only 3.5% down. That's actually my favorite strategy of all for all of those folks that don't own a home already. I love talking about buy that first property, have it be a multifamily, use FHA for your benefit, go in with the least amount of possible, and you already day one have an investment property. And those renters are amazing because they're helping you pay that property off, right? Pay it off. So this multifamily part, let us know. We know it. And it is very, there's different areas in Vegas that will have probably the bulk of fourplexes, and we can definitely showcase that to you for sure. So my friends, I hope all the information that I shared today, was productive for you. We're going to continue doing videos in English, and I appreciate BDG telling me that this was useful for you, because it gets me really, excited to just do more videos and make sure that we're always doing them for you guys in English. And growing our YouTube channel is one of the reasons that we're definitely committed to doing that. Like I said, if you go in our YouTube channel channel where we're sharing information in Spanish. Our YouTube channel has grown tremendously there, but I wasn't really creating a lot of content because I thought that you guys kind of knew it all. I was like, there's so many resources in English. There's so many places that you guys can find it. And for that reason, I was like, maybe you guys don't need it. But we started finding out that there was a lot of need. There was a lot of questions. And, and I love what I do. And I love explaining it. And I love going into detail. And I absolutely love answering all your questions. It is what I do all the time. And I tell people definitely, if you talk to a real estate agent and you ask them questions and you feel that real estate agent gets a little anxious, a little antsy, and just wants to like move quickly past all the questions and get to closing the deal with you, then that should tell you something. That's not who you want. You want somebody that's going to totally be there with you and that knows, right? Especially if you're moving into investments. You want a real estate agent that understands investments because they've done it and they've coached other clients to do it and they have enough experience. There's a lot of real estate agents, my friends out there, that don't even invest themselves. So it would be very hard for them to walk you through an investment because they haven't even done it themselves. So make sure you ask a lot of questions before you select that real estate agent that's going to kind of take you through the process of buying or investing or really growing your portfolio. Make sure you ask everything, all those questions, and if you feel there's hesitation, irritation, they're not, then that's probably not the right agent for you. Because right now it's about giving you guys a lot of resources and information, and that should be the real estate agents our primary focus all the time. And if we get to work with you, great. That's obviously, the best. But if, through the way that I express myself and the information I gave you, you're not convinced, there's a lot of great agents out there that will take care of you, right? I've been, like I said, I've been doing this for 17 years, and I do have some great agents here in town that I know. So I'm not the only person here in Vegas that, works hard and makes sure that, we're giving you the information that's truly current, that's really helping you and protecting your money, right? Your investment. So I appreciate you today. Thank you for staying in tune with me in this video. Please share the video if you like it, and then give us a like and subscribe. So have a wonderful Saturday. Talk to you guys very soon. Thank you. Thank you. I'll wait for your call, BDG. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.